we've all heard a lot about why beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You've heard about how beauty is subjective and how it depends on personal judgment or perception. You've listened to people talk about how beauty is defined by the individual. Well, today I'm going to talk about why beauty is in fact objective, and not only that, but universal. Today I'm going to go to the opposite side of the spectrum and speak about how beauty is not in the eye of the beholder. The emphasis today will be placed on the fact that beauty is limited to one definition. Beauty is not in the eye of the beholder because there is only one definition of beauty. Multiple perceptions of beauty cannot exist. The phrase beauty is in the eye of the beholder implies that every single person has their own idea or definition of beauty based on their perception or opinions. This means that the criteria for what is beautiful for each person is vast and cannot be defined because it depends on the whims of the individual. If there are 7 billion people on the earth and they all have this large list of what makes something beautiful, how can we come to an agreement on saying that there's a single concept of beauty besides the approving of the human of the object? Okay, so disagreements in beauty are often actually disagreements in taste, which is distinct or different from beauty. Taste is the refined ability to perceive quality in any artwork, according to David Hume, a Scottish philosopher. Differing tastes have no effect on what is beautiful, but simply affect how the beauty is acknowledged or not acknowledged. Beauty exists not because it is appreciated, but because it is distinct. Beauty exists as a separate and distinct quality assigned to an object. Beauty is not a quality that stems from the value placed on an object by a person or bodies of a person. So beauty is not something that stems from the value that I place on an object, or that you place on an object, or that we place on an object, but rather that the quality of beauty stems from the object itself. So if we say that a sunset is beautiful, it is beautiful because the sunset owns that quality of beauty, not because people have made a judgment about the sunset. So the beautiful are a class of things of which beauty emanates from within the thing themselves, rather than the judgments made of the things. Beauty exists regardless of whether or not the people are there to appreciate it. So let's all imagine something indisputably beautiful, like the paintings of the Sistine Chapel. So imagine that for some reason people were no longer allowed to witness the beauty of the Sistine Chapel. That doesn't mean that the beauty ceases to exist. Plato, in adding to this, states that beauty is absolute, separate, simple, and everlasting, without increase or any change. In using these words, Plato emphasizes that beauty transcends humanity and humanity's judgment. And that's what I want you to understand, and that's my main point. Beauty is limited to one definition. It exists beyond the realm of human perception. It is for these reasons that the phrase beauty is in the eye of the beholder is invalid.
2.5 minutes.
Okay, so let's talk about the idea that there are multiple interpretations of beauty. So multiple interpretations of beauty would insinuate that beauty has no central definition. A central definition is key to attempting to describe inequality. If there were no central definition of beauty, then how would one know that something is beautiful in the first place? Furthermore, if there was not one single definition of beauty, then how could two people ever agree that something was beautiful? How would one even be able to argue about beauty if there's not a definition or sense of the word to begin with? And that is why there is a definition to beauty. Also, let's talk about the idea that humans have to be present in order for beauty to be there. Contrary to popular belief, the world does go on when humans are out of the picture. This argument leads down the same road as the following. Let's just replace beautiful with oxygen or water. The question would be thus: if no human is around to witness or appreciate oxygen, does it still exist? The answer is an obvious yes. Like oxygen, beauty is something that transcends humanity. When we think of beauty, we should think of something beyond our control. In doing that, we see that beauty exists whether we do or not. Also, also, whenever we think of the idea that personal experiences have something to do with beauty, yes, I do agree that life experiences shape perception, but is that what we're talking about here, perception, or are we only talking about beauty itself? It should be noted that all cultures have a concept of beauty. This means that the existence of beauty does not change depending on the barriers of race, gender, or socioeconomic standing. In summary, beauty is universal. All people understand that there is a concept of beauty and value that concept. Changes in our attitudes about beauty do not have an impact on the beauty of an object itself, and certainly do not cause changes in the definition of beauty. Today, the people who oppose me want you to believe that beauty is relative. They want you to believe that every single person contributes to an overall definition of beauty in some way, so that there are absolutely no conflicts between the definitions put forth by the individuals. They want you to believe that humans have a direct effect on beauty itself. But today I have proven that beauty actually can only be defined in one way. That is to say that only the objects of beauty themselves hold any beauty. Human taste or appreciation has no impact on the beauty of the object. Beauty is transcendent of humanity. What's more, and perhaps most convincing, is the way in which beauty is universal. Beauty exists all over the world. I don't mean that there are sprinkles of beauty here and there, but rather that cultures worldwide all have a concept of beauty. All of these cultures share not only the singular concept of beauty, despite the enormous array of objects which we consider beautiful, from poems to nature itself, to works of literature, to even humans, despite the fact that these cultures, despite the enormous array that, despite those things that we consider beautiful, they also share the tendency to value beauty. Perhaps this is why Bruce A. Little, a professor at the Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary, states, "Beautiful is what we predicate of things that present themselves to our senses in a particular way because we have innately the concept of beauty. This predisposition to observe beauty carries throughout all humanity. Although we all have the inclination to observe beauty, this does not mean that we all directly affect it. Beauty is not in the eye of the beholder."